Welcome back to the Late Night News. Music maestros A.R. Rahman and Ilaiyaraaja have been conferred the Padma Bhushan Award. The list of awardees for the country's highest civilian awards were announced earlier this evening. While Rahman and Ilaiyaraaja figure among the 43 Padma Bhushan awardees, Dr. Pratap C. Reddy, chairman of Apollo Hospitals, has been conferred with the Padma Vibhushan. Topmost Mridangam artists Umayalpuram K. Sivaraman too has been chosen for the country's highest civilian award. Besides, educationist Y.G. Parthasarathy, racing champion Narayan Karthikeyan and TVS Group chairman Venu Srinivasan were among the Padma Shri awardees. Well, the music maestros spoke to the media after the news came in.
This is a recognition, I can say. This is a recognition from the government to the artist.
I'm finding it's a challenge for me to concentrate on my work and of course enjoy all these awards. But my work definitely needs concentration and that's the biggest challenge now for me, to have my integrity of my passion of music not getting spoiled by any of these, but also enjoy this. It's a great honor getting along with him, and because I worked with him for 1.5 years and I've learned so much, and he has worked for my father, so it's almost like a family thing, and getting with him is definitely a great honor.
Well, we spoke to Padma Vibhushan winner, Mridangam artist Umayalpuram K. Sivaraman as well.
Padma Vibhushan has been conferred for the first time on the art of Mridangam, and I'm really fortunate that this coveted prestigious award has been conferred on me this year. In fact, for the yeoman services that I've been doing for well over 64 years, the government really bestowed on me this prestigious award, which I consider as another feather on my cap of musical career. You know that I've completed 64 years of my musical career and entering into the 65th year of my Mridangam art. So I consider this as a unique honor, and that is a unique honor that is conferred on me by the government of India. This award on me will be a trendsetter for the present generation and future generation of percussionists.
A great way indeed to enter his 65th year. Now, is it possible to draw free power for a decade without getting caught? Well, 10,000 encroachers of Babynagar in Velachery say, yes, we can. Our reporter Shabir Ahmed was shocked at what he witnessed.
This is no free power scheme. These illegal connections are being utilized by 10,000 encroachers in Babynagar in Velachery. There have been complaints to the local authorities, but they seem powerless. That's because the encroachers quite literally flaunt their political clout. So those who steal get away. Those who pay the electricity bills have to bear the brunt of low voltage and chronic power fluctuations. Free color TVs, or for that matter, any other electrical appliances, just won't work properly here.
Home appliance is not working, and TV is not working, computer is not working. We have so many problems facing this.
And since past years, I have changed my sister's motherboard 2 times and power supply 2 times due to the voltage problem.
Washing machine போடுறோம் உடனே low voltage ஆயிடுது, அப்படியே machine என்ன போயிடுது, எங்களால எந்த வேலையும் ஒழுங்கா செய்ய முடியல.
The theft is bad enough, there is also danger lurking here.
ஏதாவது ஒரு வயர் கீழ அறுந்து விழுந்தாலும் அதுல வந்து இறக்கிறதுக்கு நிறைய பேர் வாய்ப்பு இருக்குது.
Nothing seems to be working in favor of the residents of this locality. Repeated pleas and complaints have yielded no results. The residents also claim that political pressure prevents authorities from taking necessary action.
When contacted by NDTV Hindu, the Tamil Nadu Electricity Board says they have begun the process of regularizing these connections so that these people pay for what they use.
Now we have already taken to rectify the legal residents, and we are going to remove all the illegal connections before March end.
The power theft in the past decade has caused a loss of more than 50 lakh rupees, and a department whose losses run into thousands of crore rupees every year can ill afford this. In Chennai, with camera person Kasi and Shabir Ahmed, Ramanathan, NDTV Hindu.
V. Balachandran, ADGP Vigilance of the Tamil Nadu Electricity Board, spoke to us earlier in the day. Here's what he had to say.
The present provisions as laid down in section 135 of the Indian Electricity Act seem to be adequate to handle this problem. Power thefts are not rampant in Tamil Nadu. I am not sure about the position in the rest of the country. However, based on our experience, I can roughly say that around 4% of power connections inspected come under our lens, come under our suspicion, and then when we probe deeper, they turn out to be power thefts. On average, 2,600 to 2,800 cases were detected during the last 5 years. However,
ADGP Balachandran there from the TNEB. A group of activists met Chief Minister M. Karunanidhi this morning and raised their concern about the introduction of BT brinjal in the farming sector. They said among the southern states, Tamil Nadu is the only state which has yet to impose a ban on the BT brinjal variety. They asked the Chief Minister to stop genetically modified food from entering the agricultural sector and protect the interest of the farmers in the state. Weeks after the daylight murder of Sub-Inspector Vetrivel, the incident remains fresh in public memory. This was one of the issues picked up at an international media seminar at MOP Vaishnav College. The big question, should the videographer have helped the bleeding cop or filmed this incident?
An incident that shook the nation. Sub-Inspector Vetrivel bleeding to death, begging for help in the presence of 2 ministers. Many believe it was a criminal act of negligence. After politicians and government officials, some people have trained their guns on the videographer who filmed the incident. A public interest litigation filed at the Madras High Court also seeks criminal action against the person who filmed the incident.
While on the incidents, our cameraman was not admitted to getting down for some minutes, and when he was admitted to get down, he was very shocked to know the indifference, aloofness about the ministers, collector, police officials, doctors and government officials.
The incident has led to a public outcry. Different reactions came pouring in from media persons. While some feel that the videographer could have pitched in and helped the bleeding cop, others say he only did his job as a journalist.
Media person is a single-handed person. We have had ministers, 2 ministers with their entire entourage, police, medical personalities going with the health minister. All these people have been watching the whole thing. What can one media person do? At least because the whole thing has been shot on camera, we have something to talk about.
Media is not insensitive to all this. But at the same time, it's not the role of a media to play the role of a moral policeman or, play some other role. The role of a media is to be carrying news as it happens and tell the world what it is.
In a toss-up between a good deed and a great scoop, it's perhaps time journalists pick the former. In Chennai, Nithila for NDTV Hindu.
Managing Editor NDTV 24/7 Srinivasan Jain and political analyst Cho Ramaswamy gave us their views.
This is a debate that journalists are constantly confronting. When you go into a situation where you see someone in distress or a set of people in distress, do you continue to report it or do you actually get involved in trying to help those people? And frankly, I think in the case of Mr. Vetrivel, there was really no debate. Beyond a point, one could see that the man was in agony and he needed help which wasn't coming. And if there were any journalists on the spot, as there clearly were, then they should have balanced their reporting or their reportage of what was going on with some attempt to assist him. That debate becomes more complex when you're dealing with a more widespread phenomenon of distress or catastrophe, like if you're talking about a riot or an earthquake or a tsunami, where it's not possible for journalists necessarily to also become part of the support system. There are other complexities involved of the nature of assistance that you can actually provide. So there, again, it is more to do with the editorial call you take at the spot, but there it's somewhat more understandable if journalists are actually reporting a crisis than actually getting hands-on involved in it. But certainly in this case, those who are assembled there from the media, should have reacted as citizens as well and should have tried to see if they can in any way provide more assistance to us.
What is it that the cameraman could have done? That the ministers could not have done, two of them? That the collector could not have done? That so many policemen there could not have done? If there was such a thing, well, you can hold the media person responsible. So it all depends upon the case.
On the eve of Republic Day, the coastline of the state has been put on high alert and extensive security arrangements have been made to maintain vigil. J. Bhaskaran, SP Coastal Security Group, spoke to us about the security arrangements in place.
First step, we have made coastal security arrangements in between port and Santom. So one patrolling boat, a 5-ton boat is patrolling along with the Coast Guard. The remaining portion of southern parts of coastal areas, already we have hired 10 number of boats, and also Government of India supplied 10 number of government boats.
Up next, what happens in between Sultan of Swing and her Prince Charming? Ask Soundarya Rajnikant herself.
It is true. I am getting engaged in February and I'd like to keep my personal life personal, yeah? So, but it's true. I am getting engaged.